Exercise 4-14 should now and forevermore serve as an example of how not to dimension anything. The reason is the dimensioning of this piece actually makes it more difficult to complete this piece, and we're going to talk about why that is here in a few minutes. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm just going to begin by drawing the profile. I've got a line, and I want this line to go up 20, and then I'm just going to zoom out a little bit, draw my angled piece, and then my other line segment goes 25. Now I'll go ahead and dimension all of my dimensions for this. This is going to be 60. The overall height is also 60. And now you can see that this is fully constrained. So now I'm going to offset this and then put a dimension between here and here of 5. I will add my 2 lines to close off my profile, and then I'm going to add 2 additional lines that are going to represent the cutouts that exist in these parts. So I'll dimension this from the edge. This one goes back in 15. Dimension this from the bottom. This cutout is 10. And then I can go ahead and extrude my profile. So I'll finish my sketch, go to extrude and select all 3 profiles. Do a mid-plane extrusion, a distance of 60. Expand my extrusion 1, share sketch, and then I can go back in and extrude this profile and this profile. Since they're the same distance, I'll just put them in here at 28 and make sure I select the option to cut. I can then right click on the sketch and uncheck the visibility. Now this is where the dimensioning that we have for these 4 holes in the center is really bad. There is no way that we can actually place these holes in the center given the information that we're currently given, simply because of the way they're dimensioned. And if this drawing were to go to a machine shop dimension this way, the person in the machine shop technically would have absolutely no way of actually locating these holes. So given the information that we have to locate these holes somehow. But once we get into the drawings section of this class, you're going to find that it's a lot easier to dimension these holes in a slightly different way. And if they were dimensioned lined up with this face in the drawing, they would not be difficult at all to put in. But since they're not, what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a sketch on this face, and I'm going to draw a line coming off of the bottom right here, another line coming straight down, and another line coming straight down. For this line here, I'm going to give it a dimension of 48, and for this line here, I'm going to give it a dimension of 32. And then I'm going to finish my sketch, because that's really all I need for that sketch. Now I'm going to create a new sketch on this surface, and the first thing that I'm going to do is roll back out to the side a little bit here and go to project geometry. And I'm going to project this line and this line. What that's going to do is give me points that I can actually select. So now I'll go back to my line command, and I'm going to draw a line from that end point all the way across to here, and another one all the way across to here. Now I can put in 2 additional lines that I want to make sure are perpendicular to the bottom, and they're not dimensioned, but we're assuming that they're equally distant across the face, which means that from here to here it's 20, and from here to here it's 20. Now I'm going to go to my point command, and I'm going to place a point at each one of these intersections. It's a lot of work to locate 4 little holes based off of the way that it's dimensioned. Now that I've created my points, I'm going to click on the hole command, and for centers I'm going to select those 4 points, and then they do go through all, and they all have a diameter of 12. So I'll say OK to that, and then turn off the visibility of that sketch that I had to create just to locate those holes. Next, I'm going to place the rest of the holes, and to do it, all I got to do is use the regular hole command. I've got this hole right here, which these have a diameter of 8, and its reference edges are the left edge and the side. So we'll go here and here, and they should both be 8. So we have 8 here and 8 here. I'll apply that hole, come up here and put in my next one. And again, this should be 8, and this should be 8. I'll apply that. Pan up so that I'm looking at the bottom now. These two holes at the bottom have a diameter of 6. So we'll click on the face, and it is 5 off of the bottom and 8 in from the side. So we'll click the side. This should be 8. This should be 5. I'll apply that one. Come over here. Click my 2 reference edges again. This is 5. This is 8. And the diameter is still 6, so I'll apply that and say OK. So here is the completed 4-14, and you can see based on the way that it was actually dimensioned in the book, it was actually made to be a whole lot harder than it needed to be. And like I said, once we get to the section of this class where we're creating drawings, we're going to take another look back at this exercise, and you all are going to create a drawing from this that's a whole lot better than the one that's in the book.